Oh, all right. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of that baby. What a hey, we do not own the rights to the music.
We sure don't.
Hey,
So don't sue us.
back, baby. What a yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Where Da Luv podcast. This week is a special week. Not only is it Valentine's Day, you guys know we record on Sundays. It's Valentine's Day. We also got a special guest that I'll go ahead and introduce later on. Pretty excited about having this guest on. Um, if you're on YouTube, you can see him right now before I introduce him, but it's okay. And then we have Jada here. Jada went and got her hair done, nails done, everything.
I did it
babe.
myself.
Take care of
Everything by
yourself
me.
for
Here
Valentine's
knows
Day.
by Jay. You know it. Treat yourself, ladies. Treat yourself.
Yeah, man. But yeah, and also, we got our moderator, second voice in the back, Wizard Kelly.
My sister.
I hate you. I'm a Wizard Kelly.
Damn, you had to do her like that though.
Well,
I
never
know,
see
right?
because they never see
Like-
your face, but they hear your
Oh,
voice.
that's
you
good
know what
one.
I'm
Good
saying?
one. Good one.
Wizard Kelly.
What's her
you know what I'm
Kelly
saying?
though?
Yeah.
Like, right?
My,
Like
my
a box
lovely
with an
wife.
orange
My bad. I
basketball.
forgot to add my lovely wife part in there. I apologize.
Your wife, your lover, your friend, your side piece, your everything.
I don't know if I'm married to Jada or Wayne.
Didn't it sound better coming from me?
I feel like,
That's
yeah,
how I'm
like
supposed to
Jada,
introduce
she
you.
did all my
That's why
titles.
Jada's here though, because she adds a little spice to it. You know what I'm saying?
You know
That's
it.
what we do. But as I said, we do have a special guest. This guest is. I'm excited about this. If y'all know me, y'all know I love playing video games. So if you know me and Newbie always get fight about video games. But it's all right. You too damn loud on the game. It's not about that right now. But I have a special guest. I've been watching this guy since 2012. So it's been a long time.
Since college?
Yeah, since college, since I was in
You're
college.
old.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to have. I feel like I know him already just because how long I've been watching him play video games and stream.
He all starstruck and shit. Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Get it
You know,
together.
but y'all are excited. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little excited, but glad I love to welcome Spade. What's up, Spade?
What's good, bro? I'm actually hyped to be here. So, let me
Awesome.
get in and feed off of y'all energy and see just how crazy I can be today.
You already got a glimpse of Jada, so
That's who I'm
Oh,
linking.
I'm the only spicy one on this cast.
Yeah,
See?
my spirit match right now. That's who I'm linking. with.
It's all about the energy. It's all about
all
the
about
energy.
the energy.
Facts.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you on here to talk about some relationships. You've been in relationships. You're married currently, so great to gladly hear your perspective on that. Because me and Jada are like newly married, so yeah, fair. And Jada's super new.
All right, don't even do me like that. Like I'm
playing,
new. I got married the same year you did.
Jada, I'm about to hit my 1 year. You not?
This year I'm gonna hit my 1 year in October. Try me.
This year. I mean, of course, eventually you will have to, but
We just did the opposite. I got knocked up first.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, so
We just
welcome
flipped
to
it around,
episode.
that's
This
all.
is episode 10. Episode
Wow.
10. Yeah, episode 10. 10 episodes down. 10 weeks of everybody coming through and listening. Shout out to all y'all that come and listen, interact with us on social media.
Yes.
I appreciate it. You guys give us a lot of feedback. So first and foremost, just want to thank y'all. And let's get into a good episode. So as you know, each episode, Nubia starts out with some questions for us, some scenarios. So I'll let her go ahead and hop in.
Oh wait, I forgot to tell y'all before she hops in questions. Remember, I did that poll on social media about your significant other.
Nah,
It was like,
But which one?
Boobs, remember, it was like if you found your significant other like cheating, it was something like that. I can't find it. Would you A, beat that
Oh
ass?
yeah.
B, get revenge and sleep with somebody else, or C, like walk away. Do you know the majority of the votes was beat that ass? Man, I lie to you not. And then it was like walk away and then like get revenge and stay. I just wanted to share that. Y'all are wow. It was my followers because I was like, let me just throw a random poll out there to see like what people think. And it was wow.
What would you do, Jada?
Oh, I said, oh no, I got a child and everything. I'm staying, but I'm getting revenge. Oh, you gonna be out here having a good time? I'm gonna be safe, but it's on and cracking. Like, no, don't. I voted first, and then somebody was like, you know, your answer was Sean. I was like, oh, for real? Well, I mean, Darius can see it. He know me. He know I'm extra.
See that? I see.
So I just wanted to share the results with y'all.
Yeah, I think I talked about that before. I think I would have to go away because I'm like I told you, I'm spiteful. So like, if you cheat on me, I'm gonna cheat, but I'm gonna do it twice just so I can feel like I got the leg up. So I can't.
Are you staying or are you leaving?
No, I gotta go. I gotta go.
So you gonna fuck?
I gotta go. So I just gotta go first because if I stay, I'm gonna cheat. I know I'm gonna cheat. I'm not because I'm gonna feel bad and I'm gonna think about every time we having sex like you was doing this with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You might have showed him a new trick first and tried it out on him before you tried it out on me. So
wait, okay. So even if the kid's involved, you're still like, I'm out. We'll co-parent. We'll do what we need to do.
Yeah, I could. That's a hard one.
See, it changes. What about you, Spade? What you think?
Yeah, I'm out because I know me, right? Even if my heart want to stay, I got a problem not letting things go. Like, first thing, you got to know you. So it could be 12 years later, and I'm gonna be in the shower like, wait a minute, hey, like, that's just me. Like, it's just gonna keep coming up, and I'm gonna just ruin it for everybody. So I'm gonna do everybody a favor and kick rocks. But I'm gonna throw some shit over before I leave, though. I'm not leaving peacefully. I'm gonna make a scene.
See, that's how I feel. I think kids make you think for a second, and then you realize, no, I can't stay. So, I'm the same way. I'm gonna be spiteful. I might cheat back first though, and then leave.
You know what?
Get caught on purpose.
That's fair. But I wanted to share that with y'all. I did the post specifically to talk about it today. So y'all are interesting. My followers are very interesting. Beat that ass. You know what? I don't condone domestic violence. I just want to say I don't condone intimate partner violence, but that was the response.
Okay. All right, Noobs, you want to go ahead and hop in?
Yeah. So just like Dwayne said earlier, thank you everybody who's been tuned into our podcast and just the faithful listeners. We really appreciate it. We're really excited to have Spade here with us today and just kind of talk about his love story and where we are. And I just want to extend a happy Valentine's Day to the crew, everyone on Zoom right now, and everyone who's listening. But yeah, let's just hop in. So we want to start at the beginning. Spade, tell us about how you met your wife.
Ooh, man, it's such a funny story. I met my wife in high school. I met my wife in the 10th grade. No. This story. Hold up.
All right, never mind. Go ahead, look.
It's pretty rough. So, you see on TV where like a new student moves and they seem to always get brought in during class. So I was in Spanish class. They brought this little short chick in and said that our family just moved and my homeboy just had to have her. My homeboy was in love. It was love at first sight for this dude. And I got this weird saying about radar. Like sometimes people can be in your life for a long time and you don't see them because they're not on your radar. They're there, but they're not there. And she just wasn't on my radar. And my homeboy was crazy about her. And, we were young and we made the stupid mistake of him saying, hey, set me up with her. And I was like, all right, cool. And I'm talking to him like, yo, my homeboy said, what's up? And I'm just talking, but I'm trying to put my homeboy in, but she hearing the words from me with my mannerisms and my personality. And I think I was trying my best to allow my boy this oop for a couple of weeks before she just was like, yeah, I'm not feeling your homeboy. And she was like, but you can take me out. And I was like, oh.
Damn. Yes,
so then I say to my homeboy, I'm like, yeah, man, she's not interested. So he's like, all right, cool. And I was like, let me ask you something. Would you be cool if I tried to talk to her? And he was like, yeah. And he played in the band at the high school. I took it to a high school football game. At the end of the game, we walked to the end of the bleachers where the band was at. And my homeboy just walked right by us. Like we went there to talk, like to kick it with him and he walked by us. So yeah, I kind of lost a homeboy in the mix, but she and I dated for about 6 months or so. And, we went our separate ways. My line of thinking is, I wasn't a real flashy dude, and because she was the new students always get a bit more hype than they really deserve. Like she was I'm gonna keep it a stack. She was mid, but she was new. So like a lot of dudes wanted her, and she ended up, she went on and dated some other people, and then we bumped into each other 10 years after we left high school. We both had been through some things, some failed relationships. I had a kid. She had a failed marriage and had 2 kids, and I bumped into her in a Walmart of all places. And she was like, yeah, here's my number. You should call me sometime. And I was like, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm not calling Shawty. I ended up calling her. And then I just woke up one day and we was married. So I don't really know. It get real blurry in the middle, but we've known each other for a very long time. Very long time.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did you guys have any sort of like relationship in the midst of high school to like early adulthood?
I'm sorry, I talked over the beginning of that question. What was the first part?
Did you guys have any like communication throughout that time? Because I know you were both in different relationships. So, sometimes you can stay cool with people. You don't got to be like up in each other's face, but like, just
I pretty much hated her. I really hated her because the way our relationship ended. So, in high school, you walk your girlfriend to class. That's like, in high school, you feel like you're doing something. And I walked to the class and she slipped a note in my pocket. And I was like, oh, yeah, we was passing notes. And she was like, don't read this yet. Like, read it later. And I'm like, cool. So I read the letter later. She let me walk her all the way to her class. And I read the letter later. And it was like that whole, like, it ain't you, it's me. And I was like, this chick in class, she let me walk into class with a breakup letter in my pocket. So I hate it. I legitimately hated her.
Damn.
I'm not even using, like, this ain't a joke. Like, I hated her the rest of high school.
And you lost the homeboy.
And I lost the homeboy. And the homeboy never came back. Like after she did, like, I still lost the homeboy. So I really hated her. Like, jokes aside, I legitimately hated that woman for a very long time. So that's why, like, even when she was back, my first thought was like, damn, she still looks good, because I don't know how old you are, but I get this. It's so weird for me when I see people from high school. It's like they don't look the same. And the people who was so out of my league in high school, I feel like I'm so out of their league now. And it's so weird. So when I saw her, I was like, yo, she still looks good. But I still kind of hated her, So I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know how she was able to break through my hate defense barrier, but she did.
I mean, a lot can happen, in 10 years. And I feel like because she went through, like you said, she went through a divorce and you had a child, like y'all perspectives changed so much that maybe, y'all gave each other enough time to heal from whatever you were doing in high school to get to where you are now. So it was just kind of, enough time had passed that you could let it go and essentially move on with a fresh, clean slate versus holding on to any of that resentment. Because that's true. Like, there's people from high school who definitely did me dirty. I'm like, you know what? I don't really fuck with you for real.
Right? Real shit. Even as adults, it's like,
it's like you never forget that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Is the note equivalent to a text these days?
It is, but it would be like somebody texting you in the morning being like, I gotta tell you something tonight, and letting you just hold that shit all day. And then
you think it's
breaking up with
sharing stories. Spade, I got a similar story like you.
How'd it go?
Ooh.
Yeah. Come on, Dwayne, enlighten us.
It's you. What you talking about? You talk about news, did they? I feel you, Spade. I ain't never think me and you was gonna get back together.
Okay.
Man, we went to see a movie. She done threw her head. She's like, let's go see this movie. Guess what the movie was, y'all? How to Be Single.
Oh shit. Ooh, yes.
Like,
that's some savage shit.
I'm like, is this a hit? I'm like, nah, we chilling. So then we go back to, we in college, so we go back to the dorm room. And then Nubia's like, I gotta go. I'm like, where you going? Nubia broke up with me. I was like, damn. I was like, I think I'm gonna hate this girl forever. But babe, you just got my heart. You know what I'm saying? You brought it back. You knew what you had. You knew what we had to do to make.
That's some savage shit. I love it. Yeah, because y'all, not all y'all, but y'all men be fucking up. So sometimes we gotta do some savage shit to get y'all to see what y'all have. Now your situation was a little different. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. That wasn't me. For me, it was just I was just this little regular dude, and I think some cat with a gold Figaro chain and he may have sold a bag or two of weed. He looked like the cool kid to a 10th grader. So I think in a young female's mind, I think he seemed like a better option. But you grow up, you mature, and you realize, like, I don't even know if that necklace was real. That shit could have been. And realize that me with no necklace is better than him with a fake necklace. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to hop in?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to defend myself real fast from that.
She is.
I need to.
Because I'll be completely honest, because I've actually thought about this for the first time we broke up, and I was like, I really felt like you were entertaining other chicks and you weren't serious about me. And I was like, I can't, like, because I got cheated on my previous relationship and I had no idea, like, straight up in the blind, like, he told me, and I was like shocked. So I was like, I don't think he's feeling me. Like, I think he's, you know, conveniently with me. And that to me, like, belittled, like, my self-worth. And I honestly felt like he wasn't serious about me. And I was so in love with him. Like, I love Dwayne. Like, I talk about him all the time. And, you know, he had met my parents and it was just a really big deal. But I just felt like, at that point, I don't know. I just thought he wasn't into me. And I was like, I'm gonna pull this trigger before he pulls the trigger because I gotta protect me. Because healing from the first relationship just took a lot of time. And
say it again.
You know, so I was like, let me just get out of this now before he hurts me for some chick that's still up at school. And you graduated, I'm grown. You know, when you graduate, you think you're like on a new plane. True. You know, but I was still coming back to see him. And I was just like, I don't think he likes me as I like him. And as a woman, like, that is so hard to be vulnerable because I feel like we know what we want, but men can still be kind of like, you know, testing the field. And I was really afraid to get hurt. I'll be completely honest. Like, I was like, I think I'm more intent that he's into me and I'm not going to get played. So I'm going to just get out now and we're going to see. But then, like, you know, that wasn't the case. She
said, I'm not coming up here sleeping on that twin side bed for you to be entertaining other females. Right. We're not doing that. I'm not gonna and you giving me a little swipe. Catholic dorms just to be played with. Nonsense.
Yeah, just to be an option. And I was like, I can't be someone's option.
I know I played college football and all, but I was regular. I was regular. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you were still young in that way.
Your crew of friends was no good.
Oh, no.
I love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all my boys, but y'all was no good.
Yeah. Your band of brothers was a little questionable.
Very questionable.
You dated one of them for 5 years, but anyway.
Oh, I know. It was not 5 years. It was on and off 5 years. Just another time for another day.
Impossible. He trying to round up.
You see what he's trying to do? And guess what? And it was toxic as hell.
Anyway.
So I ain't married to him. Anyway, I digress.
He said next question. Yeah, still trying to learn more about Spade's love story. How did you know that your wife was the one? Like how, like what made her different from people you had dated within the 10 years you guys had a break?
Well, I think going back to Wayne's point, like I'm a big gamer. I'm a huge gamer. So for me, I never really drank or smoke or, you know, never really did like the whole club thing. So, you know, everybody got their vices. Everybody need a way to release. And for me, it was always gaming. I'm uber competitive. And, you know, once I'm in a game, I'm so focused on beating whoever that opponent is that I disconnect from the real world. And it was oftentimes when I was younger where, you know, I would date girls and they would be like, oh, you play the game too much, like get off the game. And I think, you know, when we reunited, she was just kind of like, yeah, I don't care. Like there's a lot of chicks out there that don't even know where they been at. I know where you at, you on the game. And I think, and again, you know, it go back to, like I said, we dated so young, we grew up, we got a chance to go through some things and mature. I think because she had been through some things, she realized like that Xbox ain't really a threat to me, you know? And for me, it was a big one. Like I tell this story and kind of jokingly say, when she was my girlfriend, I would answer the phone and say, hey, I'm on the game, let me call you back. And it got to the point where she would call and propose the question, are you on the game? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm on the game. All right, well, you can call me back. And the fact that she never even cared about that, never at all. I think for starters, that was one of the first signs for me. And you know, because I had a daughter and she had boys, you know, and we reunited with all our kids very young. I think my daughter was 2, her youngest son was 3, and her oldest son was 6. So the kids were so young that, I mean, you could argue that I'm a big kid. So I would play the game even with the kids. So that connection was there. You know, I would play the video game with her boys or whatnot. So that connection was there early. And it was really weird. Like even when I saw the way she interacted with my daughter, I think the very first time, because, you know, when you got a kid, y'all got kids, which is significant others, but you got a kid and you're dating. You're so protective of that kid that, you know, I dated a girl for a long time before she even see a picture of my kid. It just, I didn't understand. There was no point in that coming up. So once we got to the point where I felt comfortable enough to bring my kid around her, to see that first connection of her saying like, let's go play on the swing. We was at the park. I still remember it. Like she took my daughter, grabbed her by the hand, they took off running, they ran to the swing. And just to see that interaction, I could just tell that, you know, this wasn't just some regular thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a lot of, see, I feel like that kind of relationship, that kind of love is definitely like mature.
For sure.
Because it really takes time to understand someone's perspective when it comes to their lifestyle. Because video gaming for you isn't just a hobby, it's a career. Like it's your, it's your livelihood. And I think,
but I have to give, again, I have to give her the credit, because at the point that she came in my life, it wasn't that. I hadn't even started YouTube yet. And even when I was going through this phase of saying, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel and I want to do this and that, that was so unheard of at the time. Because I mean, you know, Wayne said that he found me in 2012. I think I first started this journey in like 2010. That shit was unheard of, you know. And I'm telling people like, you can make money off this, and they looking like, yeah, all right, man, like, okay, you know. So the fact that she was even supportive in that whole thing, and there's so many, you know, so many points in there where I feel like any other woman in the world would have been like, this man is out of his mind. Like, this man is crazy. And she just was like, yeah, all right, cool, let's do it. So either she was just, you know, like super oblivious to the stupid stuff I wanted to do, or she was just hella supportive. I don't know which one it was, but, you know, I'm a big time dreamer, and it's so easy to crush a person's dreams, even when you're not trying to, even, you know, just doubting, like, you really think you can do that? That could be enough to talk somebody off the ledge. And I never had that. I would say like, damn, like, I want to do this. I think you can make money doing this. She was like, all right, cool. Like, let's, you know, what do you need? What type of equipment do you need? Like, that was just so foreign to me. It was alien to me. So that was huge for me early on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got a question for you. What would be your advice to people that play video games, like, you know, male or female that plays video games, and their significant others don't? Like that journey of, you know, because that can be difficult.
True.
What would be your advice there?
It's crazy because I went through a phase where I used to try to make my wife a gamer. Like, I would just find games that I thought she would be into, try to get on the Sims. We had a short run where she was she was really feeling Uno, like online Uno, getting on Xbox and playing Uno. But anything I got her, I realized that it had like a 30-day expiration, and then she would be out in a month. And I finally got to the point where I just realized it ain't her, and I ain't gonna try to force it on her, you know. And I think it works best for me because now I don't have to share any of my gaming stuff. I don't have to share my bandwidth. I'm not online and she in the next room online. So I just find the beauty in it. But at one point, I wanted her to be a gamer with me. But I think she realizes it's my thing. She lets me do my thing, and boy, she's got her own thing. It's either Hallmark or Lifetime. I can't stand either one of them channels, and she can watch movies that I know she's seen before, because I walked through the living room and I've seen the scene. I'm like, you've seen this before? She's like, yeah, I've seen it 4 times. Well, what are you doing? Like, we pay for 318 channels and you just want to watch this one all the time. So, you know, I think realizing that I got my thing that she don't rock with. When I say she don't rock with, like, she supports it. But if I'm always like, if I ever say, come in and watch me play this game, fam, she could care less. And she'll let me vent to her about stuff that she don't give a damn about. I'm like, and I went over here, I hit stick this dude. He's supposed to fumble. She looking at me like, but she don't hear me. She just, you know, she just going through the motions. And she give me that. And I try to give her the same thing when she talking to me about stuff I don't care about. That's part of the deal. It's in the fine print, bro. I don't know if you read it, but it's in the fine print.
Yeah.
It's in there.
True. Very true.
Perfect.
Yeah, so since you went through that transition of, you know, gaming being something that you did on the side versus it being your full-time job, and now transitioning into that being a part of your you know, your current occupation and your, you know, your followers and your platform, how would you say that you maintained a healthy relationship with your wife? Because I know that takes up a lot of your time. And you know, that takes some coordination to be comfortable. I know you said she was supportive, but how do you think you guys consistently were able to maintain a healthy relationship through all that?
I got to give that to her. I mean, she's very vocal, and I'm the type of person that sometimes I got to be reeled in. So I would be saying, all right, I'm gonna stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Saturdays, I'm gaming with my IRL homies, because at some point, as I got more competitive and I continued to grow, without realizing that I was pushing away my real life friends because they weren't gaming at the same level that I were. They just wanted to get on and have fun. Meanwhile, if we get on and have fun and we lose, you know, I'm being sent messages like, put that on YouTube, bitch, you know, so I can't, it was making me, I didn't want to get it seriously. Like it was pushing me away from gaming with my real friends because I was so competitive. And YouTube, you know, as you continue to grow on YouTube, it made me feel like I couldn't lose games. Like I was not okay just losing. So I'm playing with my real life friends. These guys, they play the video game 2 times a week. I'm playing 5-6 hours a day. So, you know, I had my days that I would stream. I had my days that I played competitively. I had a Smurf account, like a dummy account that I played with my friends. If we got our ass kicked, I didn't get a message sent to me at the end of it. And she would come to me and say like, hey, I'm trying to be supportive, but I'm here too. I need some of your time too. I need at least 1 day a week. I need at least 2 days, you know, so she would reel me in. And I got to be honest, like that's none of me. Like I got real bad managing, you know, like time management skills. I'm terrible with that stuff. And I oftentimes I dive so deep into something that I overdo it. So she would be right there to be like, hey, like I need some time. And I would listen to it. So I guess I give myself credit for listening. Then again, I ain't really have much of a choice because those conversations wasn't as smooth as I make them sound right now. But she would come to me.
Boy,
Like,
hey, Spade, I
He
know.
wants to try and get another note.
yeah, like hey, now I'm trying to work with you now. I'll be like, all right.
Turn it off now.
Yep.
Dwayne, go ahead and say your piece because you laughing like you got something to
I
say.
know. I'm like, I'm waiting for him to say. I'm like,
I ain't saying. Listen. I just said I understand. You can understand her perspective, right, Nubia? You can understand her perspective. So
yeah, absolutely.
I understand.
It sounds like too kind of created a structure. Like, so she's like aware, like you're gaming, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and maybe her days are Tuesday and Thursday. So it sounds like kind of having that set schedule was beneficial versus kind of just being everywhere because it could have been maybe a risk of ruining, you know, the marriage or, you know, just ruining y'all connection. So that makes sense.
And you know, side note, I want to throw something in there that I hate that I created. So it's sometimes now, let's say I'm supposed to stream Wednesday and I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling it. So I go to her and be like, hey, I'm not going to stream tonight. Let's do something. And she'll be like, and she don't mind doing this. And she'll be like, well, I got this movie I want to watch and I just want to watch this movie. And I'll be like, damn, you don't want to do anything with me? And she would be like, no, you created this thing. Like I'm accustomed to doing so much by myself that I had this pre-planned and you don't get to just say, well, I'm dropping gaming today. So today is me and you don't get a chance to do that. Now I've already claimed this day is mine. And I'll be like, all right. And then I hit the homies up like, hey, y'all, I'm on anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like I always
Spade, I feel you. Because Nubia can test. She hit me with that too. Like, especially at the beginning of quarantine happened. Like I was going crazy, you know, I was working from home, game right there. She's like, I'm accustomed to doing things by myself anyway. So, you know, I would feel appalled when she did something, but she
hurt, right?
Yeah. She was like, you don't got no reason to be upset because you know this is how you've been doing it this whole time. So, you know, so we got our little days structured now. You know, we got our wife Wednesdays, do things like that. So, I definitely understand you on that. You know,
I took it like a punch to the gut though, because I was like, whoa, are you saying you don't want to do something with me? No, I'm saying I already had this plan. Like
this is a plan.
What? What
hurt y'all spirit when we find something to do.
Yeah, it do. I ain't gonna
what you mean you busy? Oh, we're not allowed to have a life.
You want to watch TV alone?
Nope.
Yeah, so I had some questions about because I know there's a little bit of an age gap between us and you, and I know that you've been married for a lot longer than us. And just kind of getting the feedback that we got from some of our audience, most of our audience are millennials or people that we went to college with. And so we're all 27 and we've all been married for a year or almost a year or less. And so just thinking about, I know, right?
Not because of you noobs, but because of Dwayne.
Right. I know he's a hater. Don't let him do nothing. But how would you say that like love has changed? People think love has changed. Like, you know, millennials don't get married as much. And you know, people can't stay in relationships. And just I feel like marriage and relationships get a really bad rap right now when it comes to people who, you know, just are negative about it and don't want to move forward or are hesitant. So to the comment, love has changed. What do you think about that? Like, what does that kind of mean to you?
I don't know that love has changed. I think it's a lot more distractions out there now. And being older, because I'm slightly more than a decade older than y'all. So being older is actually a blessing in disguise here, because I'm not gonna front. I think if I was trying to date in the height of the social media era, I would have had a lot of distractions. And one of the things that helped me was that I was a gamer. I was always in the house. I didn't care about going to no club or nothing. So, just that constant distraction wasn't there for me. And it's so in your face right now that I think that makes it different. But as far as like the pushback on marriage and the pushback on love, I don't think it's new. It might be louder now because of social media. Even when I first got married, people was like, oh man, like it's over for you. And I'll be like, damn, who y'all marrying? Like,
right.
Like if you're marrying the wrong person, I imagine that sucks. But if you marry the right person, like this shit is kind of fire. I don't understand what y'all doing wrong, But yeah, I think for millennials, it's definitely more difficult. And I don't mean this to sound as hopeless as it's gonna sound, but I think if anything ever happened with my wife and I don't even know how I would navigate dating. Like I would be so foreign to it, because at the end of the day, like they've done studies to talk about how likes on social media, how it releases dopamine and how people get addicted to that feeling. And at the end of the day, you could tell your woman every day that you like her or love her, but you equate to one like. If she's getting thousands of those on social media, I don't know if my one like is enough for somebody who, especially like I already know me, I couldn't date somebody who's like a big social media poster. Like, I'm gonna say somebody like Bernice. Like it's Bernice's job. She pays her bills by posting those photos, and I can't compete with that. I don't know how to compete with that. So I think at the end of the day, the one thing that hasn't changed from back then to now to 10 years in the future is just finding a like-minded person. If you find a person that you on the same wavelength with mentally, I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like you got anything to worry about. It might be tougher to find that person today, but I still think it's possible.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because luckily for me and Nubi have been dating since my junior year of college. So, I mean, we've been on it. We had our moments where we broke up, and we both filled the field, and I was like, yo, this shit's trash. Can you come back here real quick? Can you come back here? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. Can we come back and make this right and make this work? Because like I said, the social media is I understand when people say it, and I'm like, you just gotta find the right person. That's why I tell people all the time, you have to find the right person. Because if you just marrying someone just because of based off of looks and not looks, personality, and how they fit in your life, then of course you're gonna be miserable. Of course, marriage is gonna suck.
Absolutely.
If you only thinking of marriage in a sexual way, and you like only get to have sex with one person, then if that's the way you're thinking, you're not ready for marriage. So I don't know why you're gonna go marry somebody. So social media is definitely, I guess you could say, it's made it louder. People's criticisms are louder nowadays, and like Nubia said, like I just see a lot of millennials like just shitting on marriage, and I'm like, it's crazy. Like it's crazy, and most time, their parents weren't married, so they don't know what a marriage should look like. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at Tyler Perry movies. Of course, it's gonna look a little different on Tyler Perry movies. Tyler Perry. He's wilding out. So, if you're looking for a relationship advice and love on social media, then of course you're not going to think it's what you need, and you can stay away from it. Yep. So, I agree there.
And when people fall to forget, you have to create your own definition. Like you can't go off of everything that you see, because everybody's different. Every couple's different. You have to create your own vibe with somebody. It can't be, like Sierra and Russell Wilson. That's what I hear a lot of people talk about right now on social media. I gotta find me a Russell. Yeah, you can like his characteristics, but it works for them. You have to find out what works for you. And that's where people are missing the mark.
Yeah, I agree. I think I didn't even think about this, but you said something about what examples you got a chance to see. And, at times I was ready for my parents to get a divorce, to be honest with you. But I got, my parents been married for 48, 49 years. So what I did realize is that marriage ain't always pretty and ain't always, it ain't always fun. But, that no matter, it was time that I would be like, golly, like they hate each other. But I realized like, no, they just, they had their good days and they had their bad days. And it made me realize that now if me and my wife are having a bad day, if we're not getting along, I don't feel like I need to run off and, you know, I just chalk it up as a bad day. And I know there's some good days on the way, you know. So I guess I got to give some credit to being able to see those examples as well. A lot of people don't get that benefit.
Yeah, especially the bad days, like people. It's not all peaches and cream. Like it's not gonna work. You guys, it might be bad weeks, you know, going on, but if you gotta sleep on that couch, you gotta sleep on that couch for a minute. A lot of people, I think, marriage is, people don't realize it's a lot of sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Marriage and relationships, it's like a job. You gotta work at it every day. So if you're not willing to work for something, then just say it ain't for you. And that's my biggest thing. I hate when people like I forget, like I was on social media like a couple weeks ago. For some reason, I don't know what it was, hate marriage day, hate love day. I guess they saw February was coming up, so they was like, they start going in like, how can someone be married to one person? It seemed like jail. I'm like, first of all, you never been to jail, so you don't know how you gonna say something seemed like jail. You don't know what it been like. All you seen was, you know what I'm saying, jail stories. You didn't watch The Wire too much, but that's it. But yeah, man, I just don't like when I see people like shit on relationships and marriages because you selfish. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I think. I think you talk to selfish individuals try to force something and it's just not going to work.
Yeah. So just thinking about that and just thinking about the impact that social media has had on relationships, how do you guys feel about that? Because I feel like social media plays a huge part in relationships. It's how people can meet, you know, it's how people, I think, even create the standard of what they think they want or they need from people based off of, you know, some can argue superficial things. Yep. So how do you guys feel about, you know, social media's impact on relationships now?
I mean, I think it's the gift and the curse.
Yep.
You know, it's like the internet. I remember when getting personal PCs in the house was like a cool thing. Like, oh shit, we got a computer. And I remember what I typed in the internet search bar when my family got their first computer. I won't repeat it here, but I remember what I typed in the search bar. It was not anything educational, but maybe it was. But yeah, but you know, you take that power. You take that power and you know, if you misuse it, it can be terrible. But at the same time, man, people got this concept of like, there's somebody for everybody. And if you believe that, then I think you're a little naive to assume that somebody for you is right in the same city that you was born and raised in. Like, if you truly believe it's one person for you, that person could be in France. Like, how the hell do you know that the one person for you was born and raised in the same city you was born and raised in? That don't sound logical to me. One of those things are a lie. So, I mean, you know, like, luckily you got people, they go to college, you get a chance to, you know, meet a bunch of people from other areas. And a lot of times soulmates are found there. You know, I was fortunate enough that, you know, my wife was from North Carolina and they just brought her to Griffin, Georgia. I don't even know how the hell her family found Griffin, Georgia, but she just came to Griffin, Georgia. But I mean, social media allows the world to shrink to a certain extent. And then at the same time, man, you know, social media, it's a lot of lies out there. People create fake facades and fake images. So it's the gift and the curse, I think.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. Gift and the curse. It can help you, it can ruin you. You know what I'm saying? It can help your relationship. You can meet, like me and Noobs, how we started. It started in the DMs, you know what I'm saying? You know, we was on the Thanksgiving break. We obviously went to school together, but you know, Thanksgiving break and just split in DM and start talking that way. But also hurt yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, people like to see, for some reason, when you're in a relationship, people like to contact you and you know and reach out to you, so that can hurt you as well. So you know what I'm saying, they see you happy on social media, then you know you think you all right just responding, like, you know, and next you know that could hurt your relationship. So you know, things work like that. And you also had to know talking about, you know, your person being in a different city, because me, I'm from Miami, Noobs is from Pittsburgh, like that. We would have never met if I never went to college. And then Jada as well. Her husband is from North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Jada's in Pittsburgh. Yep. So.
And it was funny because we met on Tinder. I thought Tinder was just like one of them sites that was just like, oh, I'm playing around. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna get a couple free meals, you know, a couple free drinks, and I'm not gonna meet nobody. I'm not gonna take this serious because at the time I was enjoying being single, but I'm gonna definitely give me a couple. Noobs was there. I used to have her go as like my wingman to be safe because you never knew that. But she ain't meet up with nobody, but she would be there because like just in case I got catfished, or she would come with me to make sure nobody was trying to,
that part. She didn't meet up with nobody.
No, she never met up with nobody, but I would say, hey, like I got a Tinder date, and she was there the first date I had with Darius because we was at the little taco spot on the south side. And I'm like, all right, he's cool, it's a vibe, you know, but like social media is the reason why I got married. But at the same time, it can be advice because it's like, well, you know, it's so easy. It's at the palm of your hand, literally, from text messages to games to, you know, Instagram to Snapchat. It's just so easy. And it's, you know, it's just challenging on any relationship, any marriage. So yeah, it could be a good and a bad thing.
You hear that, man? Jada was just trying to find free meal. That's what I knew. I couldn't be single for long once me and Nubia broke up. Like, ain't nobody about to use me for a free meal.
They didn't know. I mean, I act like I was interested, but I definitely got a couple of free meals out of this. So if you're listening to all these, my bad, I wasn't into you, but thank you for the free meal.
You probably bought a free meal or two, bro. We all have.
Yeah.
They don't present it. You're getting them a free meal.
Right. Never. That's not part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
What y'all get? Y'all don't give nothing up free.
I mean, well,
my time. I give you my
hello,
time.
my time, my presence, my communication,
time, money. You know what I'm saying? Trying to impress you. What if you
can't always give it up for free? Ain't nobody doing all of that.
It's the unwritten rule, man. That's the barrier of entry for us, man. You got to show up. You got to look nice. You gotta, especially on that first date, I feel like you know, you in and out. You better not order from the cheap part of the menu because then
you better not.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
You can't.
Yeah, man. So if you
then
strike
you be
out
mad as hell, you meet her on the first date and she boring, and you're like, damn, I really gave her a free meal. I wasted my time.
Yep.
No, that's when you gotta have your friend calling and have an emergency. Yo, if I text you this emoji and it look like you need to call me and tell me Lil Roro and them got shot up east because I'm out.
What? You know, I've actually used that before. It does work. It does work.
See? And you gotta be believable though. Like,
no, because my friend's not shit. Let me tell you what they did. So I told them
your friends really ain't shit though.
First of all, you're gonna start digging in on my friends, Jada. But anyway, so I text my homie. I'm like, yo, Alex, like, all right, I'm jammed up right now. You know what I'm saying? Whoop-de-whoop, we did this, that, and the third. The dub, I'm out of here. But I need you to call me and say this happened. So I called the first. I got two people to call me now. The first one, I was like, should I put him on speaker? And I'm glad I didn't put him on speaker because this motherfucker, he laughing the whole time. He not saying a word. What happened? This, that, and the third. So I text the second one, and I'm like, I wonder if she heard him laughing. So I text the second one like, yo, do the same thing, but please talk. So then the second one, you know, he started talking. I had to put him on speaker, and that won't work. And you know, I felt bad afterwards because she was like, let me know if your friend's okay. Do you need a ride? I was like, nah, they come to get me. You know what I'm saying? We okay. And
you better get out of here, girl. It's gonna be bullets.
What did he say to you? What was the story? That's what I'm curious.
I was like, yo, such and such got an accident, and unfortunately, you know, when the friend that was used, he was on vacation. So he was on vacation.
Y'all ain't shit.
Yeah, so it happened. I mean, some women do it all the time. So
it's the equivalent to you having noobs come. I mean, we
true. She was right here in the corner. Yeah. And I didn't tell him until later. I was like, well, you know that first date we went on, did you see the girl in the corner? You know, she kind of like kept looking just to, that was
how she didn't have no food. How she was just facing down table the whole day.
And she ordered a drink, and that was it.
Well, she just had one water the whole date.
Good time.
And I do it again. But yeah, just social media has a huge impact on relationships. And I think one of the biggest things that I don't like about social media, because I'm not a big poster. Like I used to post probably like once a month back in the day, but now I probably post like once a year just because it's overwhelming to me. Like social media just is too much. I'm not someone who likes to shake my ass online or post about my accomplishments. Like I'm just someone who just, I like to live a little more low key. And it's not shade to people who like to shake their ass or anything else. I think everyone has the right to shake their ass, but it's just not my vibe. But I've thought about this, like the norm for social media has shifted to being relevant. and staying on trend. So when you're looking at social media, you can see a lot of things that repeat themselves. And I feel like when it comes to Black marriages, that has had an impact on us. Like, I think a lot of women who talk about relationships or why they don't work or why they're hesitant is because of social media and its impacts. So how do y'all think that has impacted in the decrease of Black marriages? Because there is a decrease of Black marriages versus our grandparents or even our parents. So how do you guys think that social media has, you know, the shift of being relevant or having to do these trends just to stay popular and keep those likes up and get that dopamine? Like, what do you guys think about that when it comes to Black marriages? Because, you know, we're at a decrease versus our white counterparts, or even our Asian counterparts, or our Latino, Hispanic counterparts. It's a big question.
Yeah,
that's a good. It's a good question.
Thank you.
I think you like you said, it's just, whereas people talking about them being hesitant, and honestly, like, if you look like the people that, you know, people looking up to the city girls, how they don't need no man. You know, people looking up to all these celebrities talking about how they don't need no man, they this, that, and third. And sometimes, you know, and it's men out there, you know, who see that and don't want that. And there's women out there that think they don't need a man. So, you know, if a man can't provide this, that, and the third for me, what's the point of having him? So I feel like social media has made relationships very disposable. Like, you could just, if you don't like one thing about a person, like Spade says, like a fight. If you don't like one thing about a person, then all right, I'm out of here with you. Meanwhile, maybe if y'all fought through some things that y'all got to, y'all might be the best couple ever for each other. But one disagreement or one situation is like, all right, I don't need no man. This is why men ain't shit. This is why women ain't shit. Because that, you know, that's always a social media, whether it's $60 dates, you know, people talking about that, or, you know, people talking about if he can't buy me a Birkin, then, you know, I can't be with him. Things like that. So I feel like, and as social media has gone on, the people that people look up to, mainly people that be single, and all these women that be saying they don't need men, they be needing men. And all these men that don't say they don't need women, they be with a different other woman every other week. So it just don't never make no sense to me. But people don't see that because, you know, social media only show the highlights. And, you know, say if you only see the highlights, and then when you suffer in a low light, that person ain't sharing their low light with you and how they getting through it. So you don't know how to get through it yourself. So
yeah, I'll echo that. And also, you know, like I said, man, social media is fake. So I mean, I think over the times, I think we as men, I think what we get shown gets further and further away from what the real body looks like. And I think what women are shown gets further and further away from what the real men's wallet looks like. So, I mean, you got guys and you know, we seeing women with Brazilian butt lifts and fake titties and, you know, with amazing bodies that ain't necessarily real. Sorry. I mean, if you got the bread to get it, go crazy. But then at the same time, you know, I was seeing this thread where they were saying like coaching Michael Kors. They was like, oh, like if you only getting a coach, and it was like, golly, like what? I didn't even know what a Birkin was. I didn't even know what it was, man. I had to Google it. And I was like, you got to be out of your mind. It is no way, you know, that this is the standard now. So I think, again, if people are going to be sheep and be brainwashed and just feel like they got to follow these trends or what, you know, try to keep up with these celebrities that may or may not. The funny thing too, man, it's a line in the movie Dope. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but it's a line in that movie where the guy is saying he's got these two bags and he's saying one of these bags are real and one of these bags are fake. Which one is real? And he told the guy, the reality is it don't matter which one you leave here with. People are going to see you and assume that it's fake. But the right person could be walking around with a fake and people are going to assume that it's real. So we get this thing where you see these rappers with 13,000 necklaces on like Mr. T, and we assume that all them shits is real because we know who they are and we know, we think that they got money. So they can just have whatever brands and whatever things that they want to show us. And we believe it's real because of who they are or what their stature is. And it's just got people trying to live up to these unrealistic expectations. I just think it's crazy. I think it's crazy for both male and female. Guys got to damn near be rich. I mean, the stuff that these women like, I'm not going to, don't take me to no Olive Garden, don't get me no Coke. It's like, golly, like this is crazy. The standards is just high. They super
lobster
high.
used to be a luxury meal.
That's what I'm saying. Have you not had? Did they not grind enough Parmesan at your Olive Garden? What are you talking about? That salad is fire. Take me there right now. Like I go to Olive Garden today.
Only because I used to work there. I'm like, don't take me to goddamn Olive Garden.
Oh yeah. You probably had your.
No, y'all right. It provides, social media provides unrealistic expectations, and that's something I was definitely going to say. That I think my headphones went out. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it provides unrealistic expectations. So if you think somebody who doesn't know who they are, have their own sense of identity, they're going to try to find it within social media. And then all of a sudden I was like, fuck relationships, I could be single. And now you're sitting at home lonely crying because you don't have a sense of connection. So I think people really rely on social media to define who they are. And if you don't know who you are, you're going to get wrapped up in that. And of course we love, people like social media for the entertainment, the videos, all that is funny, but it's not like, I'm not going to social media for relationship advice unless it's from like somebody who's like maybe a therapist or a relationship expert and, hearing different things, but not just your average person, because it's just like, you don't even know who you are, so.
Yeah. So how do you think that because of that pressure to feel relevant or, have clout or be on the trends, how does someone show interest in someone without seeming thirsty or desperate? Like, how do you approach someone without, because there's that pressure of being like, oh, you thirsty, you chasing after somebody when genuinely you might just have an interest in this person and want to get to know them better. But now you have to put on a facade, you know what I mean? You have to put on a facade and maybe act a little differently to try to get someone's attention. Like, how you navigate through that?
Yeah, I'm too old to answer this one because just a compliment at first now. It's like, shit, like, oh, wow, you are beautiful. You look amazing. Oh, you're thirsty. It's like, whoa, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. I don't know how to answer that.
Like I said, I was blessed to find Nubia in college. So like me sliding DM, it may have been thirsty, but hey, my thirst was quenched. You know what I'm saying? So I was lucky. When I was single, for whenever me and Nubia broke up for a little bit, I was like, yo, like I don't want to seem thirsty. Shoot, I wasn't trying to find nobody off of social media. I was old school. Go to the club, find somebody at the club, or you know what I'm saying. If you look good in Publix, I might holler at you in Publix. You know what I'm saying? Because I know social media. You know what I'm saying. People easy, especially when social media went bad. If you like somebody, you had to scroll all the way down to weeks.
Like an old ass picture.
hit that like on some old pictures. Hit them about 7 likes in a row on old pictures. Leave a little comment below so no one don't see. You know what I'm saying? That's how you would have to do it. But now, I mean, I guess you could go back to that if they're paying attention to that. You go back to that on social media, but it's hard. You just gotta go to DM. You might strike. You know what I'm saying? You might hit the mark or you might strike out. It's hard dating nowadays. I can see where people say it's hard dating nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I was at one of my jobs and one of my old jobs, and they're talking about this girl talking about like what this guy do for her, and I'm like, oh, that's your boyfriend. Oh, she's like, no, that's not my boyfriend. I was like, hold up, he paying your phone bill, he not your boyfriend? I was like, yeah, I couldn't date nowadays.
That's crazy. I think you just have to figure out what their intention is, when they're in the DM. And as a female, if you're smart about it, you'll know what their intention is. You'll know what they're trying to do. Are they really trying to holler at you? Or are they really just trying to holler at you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to know, okay? Like, guys, y'all eventually reveal the secret after a while. You're going to know if somebody's just trying to have sex with you or they're really trying to get to know who you are. Because if somebody, is in your DM and they're like, what's up? What you doing? I'm trying to see you. Nigga, you don't even know my middle name or my favorite color. Get out of here. Like, you're not literally trying to genuinely get to know somebody when you're trying to see them after you've been only texting them for 2 minutes. Like, it just depends on the intentions. And some women like that. Some women are fine with that. So it just depends on what you like and what you're willing to accept.
Data for you as a woman, have you ever slid in the guy's DMs? And how did that go?
Let me think. I know I've done it, so I'm trying to think like, see me, I'm really, really savvy. So yes, I've slid in DMs, but like I am. So like me, being a therapist and being able to read people, I was able to like get what I wanted at the time and connect with somebody. Oh, what do you mean? How am I a cheater? Because I understand human behavior?
That's cheating.
How's that cheating? You just asked me, I slid some my DMs and I'm giving you my transparent self.
Right.
Yes. So like I pay attention to detail, pay attention to things. So boom, I got you. And I can tell the rest of my secrets because people don't need to know. But Yeah, like I would. It would be more than just your average conversation. It would be more than just, feeding the ego. We're gonna have a serious conversation. Some guys will be for it and some will be like, you just trying, and I'm like, okay, I'll keep it moving. I've never been afraid to take risks because I'm like, if I'm gonna slide in somebody's DMs, either you're gonna respond or you're not. I don't have nothing to lose. I had nothing to lose before. I don't have nothing to lose now. So
No girl is sliding in any guy DM and being denied. Because like girls approaching guys still happens at such a low percentage that it flatters the entire shit out of us. Like a real Gila monster could throw hard eyes under my picture and I'm beaming for the next 24 hours. That shit just don't happen. It just don't happen. It don't. So
yeah, I totally agree, Jay. And I think it's teaching that you're a therapist, so you're able to read, like based on, what I'm saying, this post is what you're thinking.
And I could see subliminals when people like before, me being married, someone trying to, you could see when they posting different things and they trying to get your attention, and yeah. So it was a blessing and sometimes it was a curse. So you in the wrong DM, not all of a sudden this nigga toxic, like, oh damn, what I didn't do. So yeah.
I'm gonna have to rename this episode "The Blessing and the Curse." I feel like
it should be.
Going back to that.
I like it.
All right, Noobs.
Thinking about, being denied or thinking about, someone not going after you. How do you respond to criticism in a relationship or when you're building a relationship? I feel like this is a burning point for especially like millennials. Like people will say like, I was dating a guy and he was really critical about how I spent my money and he wouldn't allow me to be me, like spending money on maybe my hair, my nails, or just things that I thought were important when he maybe wanted me to spend money on him or just wanted me to allocate my money differently. When you're trying to explain yourself, he just wasn't trying to understand you. So he ended up ghosting you. Now you don't have a relationship. And that happens repeatedly over different kind of trivial things like that. And just making someone feel badly for being who they are in their decision-making process and their goals. So how do you think that you respond to criticism as you're building a relationship?
I think this one's tough because responding to criticism is tough anyway. Like even not in a relationship, like that's just something. It's tough because typically we judge ourselves on intentions and other people judge us on actions. That's why everybody think they're good people. Like we all know somebody who's just fucked up, but they think they're a good person because they judge themselves on their intentions, right? But I think in a relationship, part of the problem is early in a relationship, people present themselves as somebody they're not necessarily. So like one of the things my parents taught me when I was young, I think probably the best lesson I learned is to never start something that you can't finish. So like, that's why I was saying, even when my wife was my girlfriend, I would say like, hey, I'm on the game. Can I call you back? Because I see so many gaming guys like, yeah, man, my lady don't let me play the game. It's like, well, for the first 12 months you dated her, you powered the game off every time she called. So she got accustomed to that. Now you want to go back to being something that's foreign to her. She never saw that. So I think it's important early in a relationship to establish the ability to say like, hey, if there's some things that I feel like you're doing wrong, or if it's something I don't like, can we respectfully talk about it? You know what I'm saying? And respect is a big thing. You got to make sure you come at a person correctly. And then, everybody move different. I'm the type of person, you can pull me to the side one-on-one and be like, yo, Spade, bro, you got a booger in your nose. I'm like, yo, thank you. That'll make me hype. But if you say to me, and I know who I am, if you say to me in a crowd like, hey, it's a booger, we got to fight. Now we finish all this shit up because I'm not going to let you make me the ass of the joke. And it's crazy, man. Me and my wife, we had, I'll never forget, we had a really big powwow early in our relationship. Me and a bunch of my homies, we rented a cabin up in the mountains in North Georgia. We went, probably about 10 of us. And one of the homies snuck, it's so funny. One of the homies snuck a video game console. I didn't take mine. And, it was supposed to be no video games. Cool. So all the women went, they got on like, I don't know. They found a store somewhere and it was like, we're going to, buy some groceries. It's going to be in this cabin for like a week. And my homie was like, yo, I got the Xbox. He was like, yo, set it up. So we set it up and we hear the girls coming back. And my homies they running like roaches. The lights came on. I'm like man, like, y'all really gonna do this? Like, what's wrong with y'all? They just went and did something that they enjoyed that didn't include us. We can play a game, like relax. And my wife, who wasn't my wife at the time, she comes back and all the women are like, what are y'all doing? Y'all out there playing the game? And my woman took it upon herself to walk up the stairs to the loft we was in and be like, I know you're not playing the game. And the way she was talking to me infuriated me, because I was like, if you pull me to the side and be like, yo, like, I really got a problem with that, we cool. But I'm not the guy that you can make it, like, you can't do that to me. That's just, you can't do that to me. And we learned a very early lesson that day, because I was like, I'm so ready to hop in this car and take you back to your house and come back to this cabin. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just where I was at with it. But we established something early. So that criticism now, whether it's something that I could be 100% wrong about it, it's all in the presentation for me. And I think you got to establish that early in a relationship. Like, I have the right to say, I disagree with this, or I don't like this, but which way can I present it to you where you feel like I'm not being disrespectful? And I think that's.
Yeah, I agree. Like, is it constructive criticism or you bashing me? That's all it comes down to. It's constructive, and we say now, like I said, don't try to embarrass me or anything like that, because that's going to lead to other issues. So we having a casual conversation, like, all right, some things I don't like, let's sit down and let's go over it. Like, I think that's something we can deal with. Now, if you just come in yelling this, that, and the third, I'm just gonna feed off the energy that you're giving me, and we're gonna be having a yelling fest back and forth. So it's just, people gotta learn how to present their argument to the individual that they're gonna be going out with. It's like, I like debating with my friends about sports or something. I learned, like, yelling ain't gonna do nothing. Just because you're yelling don't mean you're right. And you may be right, but the person ain't gonna see you is right yelling at them. So I think just the way criticism goes on, if you're being constructive and let the person understand it, the person not understanding you, sometimes you just gotta let it, I don't say let it go, save it for another day. You know, because they might not see what you're saying now, but let them keep doing it. Like, look, example here, example there. I'm the example person. I love giving examples of when things happen. Or if you say I did something, I say, please give me an example of when I did this. Because if I don't hear an example, then I'm not gonna know exactly when I have to hear the example. So I like to give examples. I like a person to give me examples. That way I can see, and I'm like, and then I could think back on the time, like, oh, you're right. So this don't come off trying to bash me. If we try and give constructive criticism, then I'm all for that. And then, like Spade said, that's running any relationship you're in. You know, so.
Yeah, I have to agree, 100% with what you are saying. And for me, I've learned I have to take my space and then I have to come back and have the conversation, because it's all about delivery. If you're spazzing, if you're going off, nobody's going to want to listen to you. So if I'm mad about something, I'm like, all right, let me go check myself. Let me process my own emotions. And then I'm coming back and having a conversation with you, because you're not going to get nothing accomplished yelling, screaming. And especially if kids around, they don't need to see that. So
when did y'all learn that lesson?
I established that at the door. That was my boundary from the beginning of the relationship, because of previous relationships and things that I've gone through. Like I said, toxic wasn't good for me. Yelling and screaming, and and I think I even talked about a little bit. Well, we got to bring up, yes, I threw soap on somebody's clothes. All right, yeah, I can get wild, but that was the old me. I've grown up. I'm now in control of my emotions. Damn. So yeah. To now, so like at the door, I'm setting the boundary. Like, I don't tolerate, disrespect. I don't tolerate being called out of my name. I don't tolerate any sort of emotional, physical, any type of abuse. And if that's what you are about, or if I find out that's what you're about, I'm out. I don't care if this is 5 minutes, 5 years, 5 seconds. It doesn't matter. That's always been my boundary. I said, we're going to communicate like adults. And when Char was born, definitely I didn't want her to grow up in a home environment where her parents are yelling and screaming and calling each other names. No, we will not. We will talk, and we will use, calm voices, and we're going to respect each other. And if we feel like it's getting out of control, then that means one of us needs to leave this space and come back when it's calm. So
yeah, I agree with Jada. I agree with Jada. I think you have to establish it early. And I also think a key point to it is knowing yourself. Like, she just said, I know if I'm angry, if I come in, like, I really can't receive what you giving me, because I'm coming in already. I'm on 100 already. So you got to know yourself, because early in a relationship, you still learning the other person. But at this point, you should know yourself. So like, I know me. I don't like for someone. I don't like to be embarrassed, like out of my control. I don't like to feel like you trying to talk down to me, or you trying to make a joke, or I don't like that. And that instantly makes me respond negatively. Like, if I'm not on 100, I will be if I feel that. Like, that takes me there. So I'm telling you that. I mean, in the early stage, I mean, this ain't date one. You know, it ain't day one.
Right.
Hey, yo, let me tell you right
Hey,
now.
by the way,
No,
don't try
right.
this shit. No, I'm not doing that. But I mean, at the early points of the
Right.
relationship, you know, when you get to know a person, I'm saying like, yeah, like, you know, you can tell me anything. It's just in the package. It's all in the way you wrap it. So you got to say it early. You got to identify it early and share it early.
So this
I want to say something. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've had moments where I've lashed out, as Dwayne said. I've thrown soap on clothes. I've thrown water on somebody. But then I learned, like, this is not healthy. And then, so now when people, oh, how'd you, no, I went through some shit. Don't get me wrong. I was out here acting a fool. But then you learn, like, that's not healthy. That's not good. So I just wanted to put that out there. Like, I didn't always have this idea.
Yeah, no one's perfect. I got a question.
Yes, I mean, we revert from time to time. You know, I try not to revert, but at times, you know, we go back to
we do.
Question for y'all. So, like, I don't know if News had this on the docket. Let me know if he did. Like the honeymoon phase. Everybody know the honeymoon phase. Because the honeymoon phase, you don't see no criticism. Just
not a damn thing.
How do y'all deal with the first criticism that comes? Like the first time it happened, like in the relationship you are in or current relationship after the honeymoon phase, and they're like, you know what? I really don't like when you do that. Like, how did you guys respond to that?
It's always, yeah, you know, it's a character flaw for me, I guess. I still don't deal with it well. I mean, just to be honest with you, I got this saying that I like to say that make people look at me crazy, but I think it's a super thin line between confidence and arrogance. So it's my goal to start every day with one foot on either side of that line, right? Like knowingly, because I believe that throughout the day, like when I wake up in the morning and get out of bed, I try to be arrogant because I know that throughout that day, so many things are going to happen. It's going to take notches out of my confidence. At the end of the day, when I get back in the bed, my confidence is going to be lower than it was when I got out of bed, right? So anytime I get any negative, anything, like I ain't finna go cry about it, but I take it, I feel some kind of way because I try to be good at whatever I'm doing. So I still don't take it the best, but at this point, my wife and I, we've been married for 11 years. So I know this woman loved me. So even when she giving me criticism that hurt a little bit, I know it's coming from a place of love. And at this point, she pretty much knows how to deliver the package, but it's still sting a little bit, you know? So that's my own character flaw, I guess. I just don't like to be told that I'm not doing something great. Like, it just bothers me. So, you know, I don't know. She might tell me and I might receive it like, yeah, all right. But then it might take me 24 hours. It might be the next day that I come back like, you know what? I put some more thought in what you said. And you're right. But she knows me. So she might drop it off and keep rolling. She might hit me with a drive-by constructive criticism because she know I need a moment. I need to process it. That's just who I am, though. So she won't say something and then just sit there and beat the dead horse because that's going to lead to me, you know, taking it defensive. So she might just drop off a little tidbit and keep it moving. And I'm that person that 3, 4, 5, 6 hours later, I'm like, is she? And then usually when I got time to process that, I can see what she's saying. I usually can see her point and I'll come back later. So, you know, that's her learning me and me learning her.
How about you, Jada?
Wait, hold on. So was it like whenever we have issues or like after
like anytime there's
phase, like what?
Yeah.
And it's brought up to you like hey, I don't like when you do this.
I
may
think
not sound
for me,
like that because that's kind of rude.
I think for me, it takes me some time to think about it because sometimes when somebody says, I don't like when you do this, I'm like, well, this has always been me. How is this a problem? And I think when someone tells you like, oh, this is really bothering me, like I said before, I need some time to really like process it and then I'll come back and I'm like, okay, so maybe I'll think about some things I can do differently. But in the beginning, it is a hurt piece though to hear somebody say like, oh, well, I don't like when you do this. Because I've been told before I can be controlling or, you know, so I have to sit back and like, okay, well, how is this affecting them? How is this affecting me? And then we talk about it. But sometimes I just need a little bit of time.
Yeah, I feel you because like especially like when you first start talking to somebody and then like, all right, you my girlfriend now, you know, go first 2-3 weeks. And then she's like, I don't like when you this. Like, I've been doing this for like the last
whole damn
months.
time, right? It was cute. It was cute. Now it ain't cute no more.
Yeah. You know, that the growth is what me and Jada saying when you take time to process it. That's growth. Early on, it's like, I don't really like when you do this. Like, oh yeah? Well, I don't like when you do, you know, and then you get into that.
Get on my damn
you got
nerves.
something in the tuck anyway. You know, I always got that one thing in the tuck that I don't like anyway. I just been dealing with it. But since we talking about what we don't like.
Here we go.
All right, let's go.
Mm-hmm. For news, did you have anything else for us?
Just some I always like to finish it. We just want some takeaway from the viewer perspective. So what do you all think is like the top 3 most important parts of a marriage to keep it successful? I know some of us are obviously new, which is why we're looking to you for some advice. But yeah, like your top 3 parts of your marriage you think are important to maintain a healthy relationship. Because Black marriage is rare. We want to increase it. We want to see more people fall in love and become vulnerable and just open their hearts up to understanding someone.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's this may vary from case to case, from relationship to relationship, but for me, I think the 3 most important things, clearly communication, trust, but the third thing that might shock you is respecting that other person is still an individual, and they still need their things, their escapes, if my lady decide that once a month she want to go to Victoria's Secret by herself, and I might don't understand it, but what I understand is that she needs that separation from me. She's still an individual. She spent so much of her life as an individual before we were one. I can't expect to just now everything we do in unison. When I go, you go. I like this, you like this. Like, no, I think that can kill a relationship too. So realizing that sometimes my wife just want to watch Lifetime by herself and she don't want to be bothered, and that's important to her, and giving her that space and that individualism, I think that's important too.
Yeah, I'll go as I think communication obviously number 1, patience number 2, and communication, patience, and
Trust.
I would say trust. I want to say trust, but I don't want to sound cliche. I kind of feel like patience and forgiveness kind of go hand in hand. But like, there's things gonna happen when in a relationship. Not the same cheating, but like other things where someone might disappoint you in something that they did. And if you're gonna say you're gonna forgive somebody, you gotta forgive somebody.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And you gotta have that patience for them. So those would be my top 3.
I know for me it's space. Just having your own time, kind of like Spade said. I like having my own time. I like having me time. Understanding and just understand who I am. I guess understanding and acceptance for me goes hand to hand, and then love, because whenever it gets rough, remembering why I got into it in the first place. I think it's often, like we talk about the cupcake phase, it's all great in the beginning, but like love, it has so many definitions. And I think whenever I'm upset or angry, with my significant other, I'm like, okay, I have to remember why I decided to do this in the first place, and I find it to be helpful. So,
Okay, perfect news. Do you have a top 3?
I think I echo everybody. I do. I think there are things you learn throughout the relationship, which is why I wanted to get married, because it's hard. Marriage is not easy. It's something you have to work for, and just realize that it's not all about you anymore. Because in relationships, I don't want to say you have an easy out, but you can walk away and kind of scot-free. But I do think when you say those vows, like, it means something, and it makes it so much more real, and it's a commitment. So I would definitely say communication is key. Like, if you're upset, don't expect someone to read your mind. I was the queen of trying to make Dwayne read my mind for years, and let me tell you, he never did it. So he tried hard, but
Wasn't that
if
like,
you're upset about
I
something or
think
something's
she's
bothering
mad.
you, like, I was like, why doesn't he know that he did this or he didn't do that? Like, come on, Dwayne, like, you did it, you should know. But yeah, I think being honest about communication, I think being vulnerable is extremely important. I think pride is, a destroyer of a lot of happiness and things in life. And I think a healthy sex life, because to me, I just feel like sex is a great way to connect. And I think that I have better sex when I feel connected to you. So I feel like for me, like, that's really important, because, it's just a way for us to connect, and, I enjoy it. So I think that's important for a healthy relationship. So yeah, those are my top 3.
All right. But looks like we are out of time here. I want to thank Spade for coming through and blessing us with some good advice. Some good advice.
Yes. Lots of great advice, lots of key takeaways.
And
I've really been looking forward to it, actually. So thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Of course. If you want to let the people know where they can find you, if you want them to find you, if you don't want them to find you, you know what I'm saying? You could, give out shout outs to Pookie, Ray, Junebug, whoever you.
You know when I'm done with him, Pookie, Ray, and Junebug, and him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Kspadetheprospect.
All right, and we'll also have his link in the bio as well. Again, shout out to everybody that's been listening to us each and every week. Make sure you guys, if you're new, follow us at WDLA Pod on Instagram and Where Da Luv At podcast on YouTube. And see y'all next week on another edition of